Shalom, Salama, Siemi, Shalom. Greetings to all of my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world. Whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahusha HaMashiach, we'll welcome you this morning to Quest to Unite Africa Discussions. Quest to Unite Africa Discussions. So I have the comments pinned there. I have to lay down the ground rules of Quest to Unite Africa and Quest to Unite Africa Discussions. Quest to Unite Africa is a nonprofit organization that is 501c3 pending, and we are associated with other 501c3 organizations. While we are still 501c3 pending, let's keep our comments respectable and palpable for our discussions with Q2UA. If you have visited the Q2UA channel, you've seen that videos were recently made private. And I did that for a reason. Because with Quest to Unite Africa, especially being a nonprofit organization, especially working on its 501c3, in order for things to be done for grants and other donation activities, well, let me just frankly say it. It's hard to bash the people that we want to have help from, that we need to have help from, that holds the major purse strings. And going over to them and just say, hey, please help us because we know that we're Israelites of the Bible and we can prove it with anthropology, DNA, history. We can prove it with your science, but you don't like science when it comes to our facts. Yeah, that's the conundrum we're in. So I know our people get very overzealous in stating those facts. However, with that overzealousness, well, we lose out on opportunities because we tend to forget that even though we're in this little enclave of the internet, we're still physically attached to this system, this beast system. And yes, we have to operate in this beast system. I imagine Nehemiah going to the king talking about, give us our stuff because Jeremiah done said we were going to be up on out of here in 70 years. So let me raid these this royal storage, the royal treasury, to grab what belongs to us so we can bounce. I'm sure there is a little bit more of a tactful, engaging, respectful conversation with that. And it was recorded that it was a tactful, respectful, engaging conversation because the Most High gave what favor to Nehemiah. And so when that happened, the Most High also put it on Cyrus's heart to provide. And I know a lot of our people that were there in that time were probably saying, well, he need to give it up anyway because it's the Most High's treasure. It's this, is that. Yeah, you can argue that. But also at the same time, we do as a people tend to delay our own blessings. And when we operate in a spirit of humility, the Most High is able to bless us even quicker. When we operate in a spirit of love, the Most High is able to bless us even quicker. Remember, Cyrus had said, please accept the gifts, and when you build up the temple of your Elohim, please pray for me and mine. Paraphrasing. Make sure you pray for me and my house and my family and my dynasty. Which eventually fell about 200 years later to the Greeks. But it's going to take that. And that's what I've said, not just on Quest 2 Night Africa, but on Covenant Awakenings channel. Look, Gentiles, understand what you can understand in the time that you have to understand. Because nothing in this world is stopping prophecy. And believe it or not, that prophecy is happening every day. And no, in my belief, in my personal opinion, in what I see from the word, not every Gentile is a wicked Gentile. However, we must face facts that in America, in the United States, what we have as a people that was taken into captivity and subjected to the laws of this land, which were purposely created to be unfair, which is what it is. The books are still on, the laws are still on the books of us being three fifths. It was a cry out about it in 2020, 2021, and that quickly died down. Because why? Because that was the process of your hearts, Gentiles, of your hearts being hardened. And then what ended up happening? Your buffer zone nation of Ukraine then was crossed. And now they're coming to the West. Because why? Because our Heavenly Father, Yahuwah, raised up an army for your judgment. Plain and simple. Hate me if you want to hate me. Hate us if you want to hate us. We're speaking the truth. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 21. Them, them carpenters are coming. You just saw that in North Korea. Them carpenters are coming. You see that all throughout China. Them carpenters are coming. You had a visit from Iran to East Africa. Them carpenters are coming because now the stage has been set. So, regardless of what is happening on the world in this world stage, we continue to work with our brothers and sisters on the continent as prophecy is being fulfilled because it is the Most High's work that's doing all this. All we're telling you is we're seeing the Most High working. Please support the work because even though He's working, there's things that we can do to support. Cyrus needed help. Excuse me, not Cyrus. Sorry, family. I'm dealing with a head cold this morning, so pray for me. Nehemiah needed help to get those treasures back in the temple, and when he got those treasures back in the temple, he needed help building the wall. And I know a lot of our people will be like, well, it's the Most High, and the Most High only will supernaturally. He'll build up the wall. He'll get all the rocks together. He'll do everything else. And then we have to look in Scripture and say, okay, when did that happen? When did that happen? Well, I believe it, and you want to know why they're saying that is because that is the Eurocentric Roman thought process that their Zeus is just going to come down and do what we're supposed to do. We have a part to play as being the people whose bloodline made that covenant at Sinai.
Mike, you want to find you something to eat?
Let me put you on my mute. We are that people. Our bloodline testifies to who we are, and that's why the other nations hate it. And literally, they see our captivity right before their own eyes. And guess what? They don't want you to talk about it. Because why? Because it exposes them because we know who we are. And if we know who we are, they then know where they're going, plain and simple. And that's what really, truly frightens them. And yes, family, Gentiles have been used throughout history to bless Israel. By definition, Jethro was a Gentile that was used to bless Israel because he helped Moses to organize the people. Rahab was a Gentile. She helped the Israelites with Jericho. So, while you have the opportunity to help, you may want to take this opportunity to sit down and listen. Sit down and glean some knowledge and understanding because it's the Most High that is able to show and provide understanding.
Mm.
I've always said this to the Gentiles, and I've always said this to our people. If you don't understand it, if you don't believe it, if you think that I'm wrong, hey, that's fine. But I would ask you to pray about it. And you ask Yahuwah to reveal all truth.
There you go. Mm.
See, that's a conviction. And when people understand that, the Most High doesn't play.
Mm-mm.
And when He shows the truth,
Mm.
there's either a couple things that's going to happen. One or two things. You're going to either accept the truth or you're going to blatantly reject the truth and then work to underhand the Most High. You'll either become an ally to the Most High or you'll become an enemy. And I'm telling you, the Most High's enemies, the days are numbered here in the lands of our captivity. This place had an opportunity to tell the truth many times. Their days are numbered, and they see their destroyer coming. And the Most High uses the nations as his swords. The Most High uses the nations as his armies.
Mm.
So Klaus Schwab and all those other folks that claim to be elites and all the people in the background, guess what? They know their numbers up. And let me tell you, they know that their numbers up even before us because I believe, personally speaking, I believe they know the exact time frame. I believe they know the exact timing
Mm. Mm.
because if you don't understand, they understand the long game, but they also know in the end they lose. They just want to know how much do they lose. It's just mitigation efforts. If you know you're going to lose, you're going to say, okay, how bad will it be? Will I lose an arm? Will I lose a leg? Will I lose hearing? Will I lose sight? Will I lose the ability to talk? That's what they're trying to figure out. How much do I lose? How bad will it be? Can I get me a prosthesis? Can I get a hearing aid? Can I get one of those voice boxes so I can communicate? That's what they're looking at because they know that they will be punished, but they're trying to figure out how bad will they be punished. Just as Jacoba and Teu had yesterday on their question and answers. Shout out to you, shout out to Teo Ministries. Hallelujah. Their sentence is at least 800 to 1,000 years
Go.
with no chances of parole before 800. Do you see what I'm saying? Think about that. And then think about all the history that they have to look at of what they've done. Now, think about this, family. There's not going to be anyone that's going to be there to lie to them, to congeal them, to make them feel good about anything. They will be the byword. They will be the ones. Look at what you. I'm not dealing with you all. You all enslaved the Most High's children. That's what's getting ready to happen to them. And it may not be in this day, it may not be in this age, but that's what's coming to them. So this is what you have. This is what you have in respect of what we see today and how our captivity is coming to a close. That's our captivity. That's worldwide. That's here and on the continent. Captivity. That's worldwide. That's so all we're doing what prophecy had already said. We're just walking things on out. We can walk out our victory because when we're walking out in faith, you're walking out in victory because the battle does not belong to us. It belongs to Yahuwah. And this is what they're afraid of. Nobody is here doing any type of crazy stuff. All those zealots and extremists, well, guess what? Those are all system plants. Those are all plants in your system.
Mm.
Amazing how everything was labeled this and labeled that. Remember that 2, 3 years ago? Oh, it was this, it's that. Oh, look at what they did. Look at how they did that. And then all of those things that were supposedly the narrative were all lies. Because why? Because there'll be no guilt found in Judah.
Mm.
At the end of the day, we know who our Father is. At the end of the day, we know his promises. You all can try to lie to yourself about the promises, but you all can't lie anymore that Russia and China are in the Pacific. Iran is in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
Russian fleets are in the Atlantic.
Yep.
The Russians are in the Sahel.
Mm.
The Chinese, they're
Mm.
I think that's going to be the next one that makes their next grandiose move.
Mm.
Because to me, it looks like, for America, okay, we'll deal with Russia all day long. It doesn't really matter. That's their thought process. That's not that big of a deal. But as soon as the Chinese are fully mobilized and are on the move, that's when they'll be really taking note. That's when they'll be really scared.
mm,
See, I think a lot of things are happening. This is my personal belief. I believe a lot of things are happening, but they don't want to tell you that it's happening because why? Because it's a panic. And to be honest, I believe that that panic, for them to not tell them what's happening, to keep them ignorant of what's happening, that's a blessing to us, family. In the grand scheme. But Brother Karras, why would you say it's a blessing to us? Because I'm going to tell you this. If they know and understand what's happening and see what's happening and being done to them, then they will turn around and try to do something to us. So all of these covert operations, all of these, conspiratorial actions, hey, let them do it. Whatever. You already know that that's what it says in Jeremiah 50 and 51, that these spoilers would be would be in here, would be in the land, would be in Babylon. You see it happening. If they don't want to tell the truth, then guess what? That's on them. And maybe, just maybe, that is a blessing to us so we don't get targeted. I'm just saying, those are my 2 cents. Because the moment that they say something, the moment we get targeted even more. See, right now, they're trying to target the defenseless. They're trying to target our kids, our children. And they see it every day because here's the thing. It's all being caught on camera. From the 12-year-old boy in Michigan to the 10-year-old in Mississippi.
Well, what happened in Mississippi?
Oh, there was a 10-year-old that had used the bathroom outside
Hmm.
behind his mother's car at a law office in Mississippi. He was trying to hide, be a little discreet.
Discreet. Hmm.
But the police saw him, pulled him on out, and they actually arrested him.
10 years old.
10 years old, yes, because why? We all know why.
Oh, because he was being discreet. Mm, mm, mm.
Well, it gives a chance to do what?
Mm.
When they're scared, that is how it's shown. And history has proven that when they're all the way scared, they burn down communities. They can't lie about that one. This is why, family, look, it's awesome to see prophecy being fulfilled, but we also understand that as prophecies being fulfilled, it's going to be more dangerous for our brothers and sisters, for our moms and dads, for our nieces and nephews, for our cousins, for our grandparents, for our grandchildren.
Mm, mm.
this is where we are witnessing this change. And this change never comes in the, well, we're just going to flip the script and there you are. Funny thing is, we're having this conversation about drug use and crime and, lack of policing, the lack of policing that was once on our people due to drug use. So if they're not going to lock them up, because if they really wanted their private prison labor, then that would be the most appropriate thing. There you go. Get your free labor on. Well, that doesn't really work with their people. And our people have been a lot more receptive to understanding how this system goes. So that's why they have to bust our people on just menial things.
mm, mm, mm.
And it's not just busting our people on menial things, but going after now our children. Because why? Well, if you don't really have a man in your child's life to explain, hey, this is what's happened, this is what's going on, this is what they're looking at, this is why they want you. This is why we have to move a certain way. This is why we have to walk and talk a certain way. My brother and I had that training from my grandmother. And my grandmother would set us straight. Look, you could don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And we would look at our grandmother like, Nana, we appreciate it, but that's not here anymore. We would save that in our naivety because we were going to a education and being indoctrinated that it doesn't happen, and then when it does happen we're shocked, and then when we're shocked we're confused, and when we're confused we're at the mercy of Babylon, because that's what Babylon is. It's confusion. Once you're confused in the system of Babylon, Babylon has you where it wants you. But if you're training your child up right and you're telling them and showing them how the system goes, you're able to impart knowledge to your son. And guess what that son does? He starts to impart knowledge to his friends. And guess what happens? It starts to spread. But it starts at home. It starts with telling our people the truth, no matter how uneasy it gets, no matter how, the feeling, what I feel. Look, Would you rather feel good and live the lie, or feel bad and tell the truth? To me, I'd rather just feel bad and tell the truth, because you want to know why? Because if I don't tell the truth, guess what? The Most High will judge me, and the Most High will judge you, just as the Most High is judging this nation right now as we speak. We would have healed Babylon, but she refused to be healed.
mm, yeah. Mm,
And now the nations are turning, because why? Because everything, the system that they were drinking up, if you could tell, the nations no longer want it. That's why we had the discussion yesterday with Maloney, the prime minister of Italy, explaining that even though, yeah, they may residually benefit from the pillaging going on in Africa, that doesn't help them when they're trying to come on over to the place where the pillagers are. All right, you want to steal from us? Well, I guess I'm just going to come on over and try to get some of the resources that you done stole from us. Mike, I'm going to get you. Sorry, get that background noise. And now, what the nations have learned for centuries, now all of a sudden they realize, oh, that's the cost. No, it's okay. We're helping out the nations, and then the nations are telling the truth. Hey, we had to do this coup. We had to bring up this person on charges because they're selling us out. We're only getting a penny out of every dollar. That's not right. And for them, it's literally a tenth of a penny out of every dollar. That's terrible. But what did that do? That woke up, it didn't wake up the continent. It actually woke up the government leaders that were afraid of what would be going on in the continent. And then the continent started to react off of what the reactions were from the government leaders, because of the government leaders being scared. Oh, they're scared because now, oh, look at this. These folks are waking up, and now we have to do crackdowns, and now we have to go in and we have to invade. We have to invade these nations that have broken away from the colonial and neo-colonized thought processes. And it's funny because it's now been over a week, and they say supposedly they're mobilizing. Supposedly, I looked at it as one or two ways. They're either going to be in the Sahel, They have to be by the end of August, or they're not going to do anything. And to be honest, this is me personally speaking. I think because of the level of support that they've gotten from Eastern nations, this is me, this is my personal observation. I believe it's going to be very covert, you know, sneaky, sneaky. And to be honest, I believe you probably won't see any African nations entering Niger at all. I believe France wants the U.S. to have a bigger response, obviously, but I also believe that that more than likely will not happen. And I'm saying that because you literally have Russia and North Korea there. See, if they hadn't reached on out, oh, I think they'd be in there like last week. But the fact of the matter is that when they reached out and said, "Hey, this is y'all have echo, this is you all have echo walls backing y'all up," which is the West. Now we're gonna come over here. We're gonna get some heavy hitters over here. No, you can't do that. That's not fair. Why not? Well, you know why? Because of this, because of that. It's this, it's that. See, they'll try to make every excuse. And all we're doing is sitting here and saying, well, I think somebody woke up on the continent. I think somebody understood what they need to have for being able to build, being able to have critical infrastructure and economic development. What will it cost them in the long run? I don't know. What will these nations of the East require of them in the long run? I don't know. But the best thing is that at least the people know the terrible predicament that they were in. Because when you've just been in a terrible predicament your whole life, that's your normalcy. Mike, you good? Because I had you in the background. I know you were making breakfast or something.
And
There you
I
go.
told my son, and he turned that fan on because it always getting smoked up. But shalom, family. I don't know why he turned that fire up all the time. He trying to cook it quick.
Oh, I was gonna say you frying some bacon back there, but I know it's like, oh, pork, pork, ah, beef
Man,
bacon, beef bacon.
not even that. Go be turkey if anything, but shoot, he went there making some uh, hash browns and
Mm-hmm.
one or two eggs, and he straight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's gotta get a good breakfast before. Now is he back in school yet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right, you're
Yep.
back in school. Started Monday, matter of fact. Yeah. But man, I'm listening to all this what you're saying, and I don't want I don't want the people or the Gentiles to think that we're coming off being boisterous or arrogant. But it's scriptural. Everything that you're saying is scripturally based. It's not something that's coming off your a wishful thinking. It's not a wishful thinking. Babylon is unwilling to repent. But what Yah has done, and this is Paul explains this, he has given a measure of salvation to the Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
Only, only to provoke his people to jealousy. That's what he gave. You they still have an opportunity for salvation.
Yes, they do.
But it's based upon jealousy that's pushed upon us because he loves Israel so much that he wants it's like he giving you a platter because you're not going to do wickedness, Israel. You're not going to practice wickedness and thinking you're going to get his favor just because he's provoking you to jealousy. Now, the nation seeing this here. Oh, well, let me hop on top of this. I mean, I can live like an Israelite and do. I'm willing to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got a nation that is putting forth that effort, they are acceptable in Yah's sight.
Mm-hmm.
But first, he says, I must save my people Israel first. And so now we are left with this task of obeying his laws.
Mm-hmm.
And you got some people out here that's they like the way their lives are going. Period. They love it. They love pork. Now they catfish fries. Um, and yes, a lot of us was taught that those foods is okay to eat and everything. But then when you wake up, you're gonna find out, wait a minute, the scripture does not support that. And so now you got those that have and is making changes to align themselves to Yah's teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And we um has taken up that mantle, encouraging brothers and sisters continue to take these laws seriously, not to sit a bit and haphazardly just do as you will, because that's what the world does. And we are set apart people. We're supposed to be living absolute opposite of this world. Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of that is not supposed to be a part of our lives. And when it comes to the Gentiles, and to give you a good example, I'm gonna lay it out this way. In the comments, you have at least 10, 15 brothers and sisters commenting. You have 112 online. And for the 112, I know there are some Gentiles out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we say this from Q2UA. Those donations that you brothers and sisters give, and I call you brothers and sisters because you're looking at something that's going to save your life and your family's life. That's a smart move. I always say this, Gentiles are not dumb now. They're very smart.
Mm-hmm.
They're very smart. They will do the calculation. Hey, wait a minute,
Yep.
hold up. This cat named they call him Karis, and he be up there quoting scriptures. And then we look at reality. Who are these four carpenters? I grew up in the Christendom religion. They never mentioned anything about the carpenters, but he said something about the carpenters, and it's in the Bible. Now, who do you think these people are going to believe more so than what they was raised up to be thinking? They go look at something because the priests never said anything about these carpenters or these particular people
Mm-hmm.
who are truly Israel. So now they gonna have a mentality we have. Why would you lie to us? You
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to be in a holy figure. You're supposed to be next to God. Then they come to despise them. Now, when we had that discussion, me, you, and Chantel about the book of Obadiah, I went back and I read it and I got into it. And yeah, that was true. That scripture was talking about, well, I don't know, the whole chapter was talking about Esau, but that particular verse, talk about being despised,
Mm-hmm.
he is being despised. He is being despised to a degree that is just like unfathomable, period. And so they send this. So now when we ask for donations, it's for your benefit also. It ain't just solely just for us in Israel. Mm-mm. Now you start taking up that mantle and looking at these scriptures, and you come to realize, hey, this world is nothing but a big old blindfold. They want to keep you blind. They want to keep you entertained. They want to keep you always overeating. They want to keep you always over drinking. They want to keep you fat. They want to keep you sick. And if they can keep all these type of things upon you, because did not the Messiah say, do not be overeating, do not be heavy drinking. But those things come in one ear and go out the other. But then when we start suffering from the effects of not paying attention to, well, let's just call them small laws. Because everything the Messiah said not to do, the devil has emphasized it. Oh, go get you 2 Big Macs, 2 fries, and a Diet Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Go get it. He's telling you to get that because he knows for a fact, I'm going to slow up your blood or your blood flow. I'm going to get all that unclean fat in your blood. I'm going to slow your thinking down. Why do you think the scriptures say fast sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
When you fast, you cleaning your blood. Your blood flows a whole lot smoother and you think a whole lot clearer.
Yes.
That's the beauty of it. So this here of what we are going through and what this world is pushing out upon Israel. If you the Gentiles think that this is a joke, take up the mantle. Start living a life that of Israel according to Yah's laws, and see what the devil gonna do to you. See how much they gonna come up on you. Then you gonna know, oh, these people are real. They real. You will literally join in the fight and don't even realize you didn't join the fight. When you start living by those laws, you just stepped in and walked right into a fight. Start trying to just try to live by the laws. Just try to live by the laws. And you're going to see this fight. You're going to see this fight. You have this stuff that's going on in Africa. These people know exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Gentiles right now who are not worried about or nor giving any thought to Yah. They all about that flesh.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're about. We need this stuff here. We need these minerals. Hey, we ain't gonna be sit up in here no cold. No, we need this here. We we need to put these Negroes back in their place. That's their mentality. Because for hundreds of years, they have manipulated, castrated Africa. That's all they have. It has been done so bad. It became a practice for them, a practice. And so yes, I align it with a drug dealer. A drug dealer sells drugs in the neighborhood and he destroys other people's lives. And then this is what he do. He go out here and have kids. And the drug dealer, he treats his kids like put them on the top of the world, give them the best of everything, the education, the clothes, the jewelry, the perfume, anything they want. This drug dealer gives it to his kids. But doing a dumb line of thinking, because he's not looking at the adverse reaction of his actions. Because eventually he gonna have to answer for all of his nonsense that he done to a whole neighborhood. And then now the thing, his kids are going to suffer because of his action that he put upon other people in order for his family to live a certain type of way. And this is what the nations has done to Israel. They didn't think. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, hang on a second. Scripturally speaking, your offsprings will have to answer for their forefathers' sins.
Mm-hmm.
That's scripturally. Because you went in, disrupted someone's life. Don't get me wrong, y'all put us in that predicament. But the nation, the scriptures clearly states, you took it too far.
Mm-hmm.
You took it too far. And now you took it so far till you think this is the natural order.
Yeah.
They really truly think this is a natural order. Now let's put these people back in their place. Let's get a civil war. Let's bring back slavery. Let's bring back Jim Crow. What you will bring back is a great deal of woe
Mm-hmm.
on yourselves and your families and things like that. Because the scripture don't say anything about a relapse in slavery. It does not even mention anything. And Israel is not going backwards. It is not prophesied for us to go backwards. All we ask, leave us alone and let us move on. But the world don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They wanted to continue to poke the bear. They want to poke the bear. And this is the sad thing about it. Not only that they poking the bear here
Mm-hmm.
in this country, they're poking the bear in Africa. And then they go over and then, Russia. They want to poke it over here in South Korea, China. This is what the world is doing because the world thinks it will not. Babylon thinks she will never see morning. She will never see a disruption in her doing, her way of life. She don't. This is what the scripture says. But then you dealing with these smart Gentiles. They looking at it. Wait a minute. This don't look good. The dollar is crashing, and one thing they do, they act upon it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we need to move this money. This paper dollar don't have no type of backing. What we have, the Saudis is talking to China. They're thinking about, hey, China is buying gas from them. All they got to do is say, you know what? Yo, we're not selling gas in the United States no more. Then
Hmm.
what happened to the dollar then, Carries?
Oh, that dollar's going to drop.
Dramatically.
It's going to drop.
Dramatically. And that
And
can happen anytime, right?
yeah, it can happen anytime. And that's the whole thing, family. Look, while your money has value, you need to have your money work. Your
Mm.
money needs to work for you while it has value, because if it doesn't, you know, we're blessed right now that our money actually has some value. That's the blessing that we're in right now. But we don't have that really for we won't have that here in a while. It's not going to be forever, because as this system falls, and guess what? You know the value's going to fall. That's just how this thing's going to go. But it's, I think, the most high that we can do what we need to do. Are we going to get everything done? I'm not sure. But I think, well, at least if we have the plan and we understand how we need to get these things taken care of, I believe that we will be blessed, that all our endeavors will continue to happen. That's what I believe. We're just getting things started. We're just getting things to the temple. We still have to continue to build.
Exactly. And that's the whole purpose, bro. That's all we're trying to do, according to Yah's will, because we know, first and foremost, this Elohim belongs to Israel, and we own that. This is the reason we move the way we move. This is the reason why we think the way we think. We know that for a fact. Our Elohim is an Elohim of order.
Hmm.
This is the reason why Q2UA is doing what they're doing, putting things in place according to our Elohim's movements, thinkings, and doings. This is the reason why we do these things. It's not because of our own fleshly line of thinking. There's no way me and Karis could have put this stuff together along with these other brothers and sisters who's volunteering their time, the ITs, the lawyers, the grant writers, uh, the, the sister that works on the commercials. There's no way we could have done this.
Mm-mm.
And then, and trying to bring all of us, a nation, well, not bring, put things together for us to come together and let Yah bless our action according to his will.
Hmm.
That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're moving to doing. That's the reason why we talk with Teo Ministry. They know what we're trying to do. We have team meetings near about every day. If somebody's going off course, we talk about it, boom, we'll straighten it out and we move on. If there's a game plan that needs to be put together, we talk about these things. Now, the world knows, and you got YouTube videos out there where people be saying, why black people can't work together? Yeah, that's because we was up under a curse. It's just that simple. This is the reason why we couldn't work together. But those days are gone. Those days are gone. Now we're coming together. We're learning to trust one another. Yeah, the world taught us how to distrust our brothers and sisters. They did. But one thing they didn't do, and they couldn't do, you couldn't go that deep. Because when it's all over said and done, that black man and that black woman still going to wear a skin color they know for a fact that the world do not like. They're going to know, they know, uh, you may teach us to hate one another, but I know for a fact you hate me. I'd rather roll the dice with a person that looks like me, has my color. And that's what the world has done. Now we uh we have different brothers and sisters working on different things. We trying to maneuver things together. In Tanzania, Uganda, Malawi, Ghana. These are the things we're trying to do. Line up with different governments. This is what Q2UA is doing. We have went on the continent. I think a total of 2 months we was out there, and we did a lot of footwork. We learned a lot of things. We learned a lot of the laws in order to, and the best way to enter certain countries. The best way of doing it individually can be dangerous. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we learned that now.
Oh yeah.
We learn if you want to go in there by yourself, because we all have that. We had that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no. I'm gonna do this on my own, and so and so, so and so, so and so. Now, that's not. You went it. We went into slavery as a nation. We went in as a nation. Let that sink in. Yah said He's going to gather His people back. He did not say one at a time. And we all know for a fact it's going to be, more so as a nation. And if even if it ain't nothing but a line of thinking, and that line of thinking is happening right now. That thinking is happening right now in Niger. So you may not think it's happening, but it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
No, we can govern our own selves. This here with saying whoever controls Africa controls the world. No, the brothers they're looking at, we can control Africa. And now they're talking about, hey, let's just have one whole country, and we are controlling the whole country of Africa, because they know who it belongs to.
Mm-hmm.
Even the world knows this, that the world came in, cut up Africa, uh, mistreated our brothers there, claiming that, hey, we had a beginning here in Africa, and everybody knows that's a lie. The sun will condemn you on that. You can't stand in the sun like we can. But these are the things we was taught to believe. Now, Yah said He's going to wake His people up, and He's waking them up. He's waking them up. He's giving them that courage to raise their eyes. Because He did tell them, He said, one of the curses was, you would not have the strength to raise your eyes. That is to raise up, support yourself, and things of that nature. He put that in us. He said, but you going to know who your Elohim is when He give you that strength to rise up. And rising up is what Israel is doing. That's what we're doing. Whether they know they're Israel or not, that remains to be seen. But Yah said He's going to raise His people up. And now they're rising.
Mm-hmm.
We're rising. We're trying to put things back together. We can come to we came here as slaves. Our forefathers came here as slaves, and we're still slaves. We're still in captivity. We're not slaves to the mentality and the teachings of Babylon any longer. For that reason, no, we are woke. You may have some Babylonian ways that still needs to be brushed off. In time, it'll come off. It'll come off, and we move on. But we right now, we know for a fact that we need to be back on the continent. We need to go back and build up our home and build up our people. This is a thing that we know. This is the reason why we ask for donation, because France is built up, right? Britain is built up. The United States is built up. All these places is built up except for Africa, even down to this very day. But they had a mentality. In order for us to maintain our infrastructure of the European lands, Africa must remain poor.
Mm-hmm.
That's their line of thinking. Now, y'all's people woke up saying your line of thinking that Africa needs to remain poor. It sounds like you begging for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what they're saying. But they do not want to fight because they are seeing Yah has woke his people up and he's going to fight for his people. Now you have all this little stuff they have on TV, this UFO here, or this thing on these aliens walking around floating in the, well, I ain't walking around, floating in the air. I don't too much feed into it.
Yeah.
I don't too much feed into that. But Gentiles and and brothers and sisters, it is imperative that we really truly think about this. Africa is going to feed you, the world.
It does that already.
You
So
know?
I don't think people truly understand. It does that already. Literally, you had a report on out there that shows that they are astonished by the little amount of yield expected for corn. They also showed that the wheat is terrible. So what are you going to look at in terms of your flour and things of that nature? These folks are scared because if the West loses its grip on Africa, how will they be fed?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? Now, I'm gonna put this on out there, especially for everyone. This is for Israelites and Gentiles. You have the opportunity right now to give, and what that does is that helps Mike and I. That
Mm-hmm.
helps Q2UA. That helps us to get things set up on the continent. That helps us to get our warehouse established. That helps us to keep our operations going in Dar es Salaam. That helps us to get established in Rwanda. That helps us to talk with our government officials over in Uganda, over in Malawi, Burundi, Zambia. This is what that does. We can't go on over there and say, hey, hi, I'm such and such. Nice to meet you. Courtesy of Zoom. That sounds good to the West. That doesn't play well on the continent. They got to see your face. They got to touch you. They got to hug you. They have to embrace you. That's how business is done. That's how things are done. This is an organization. This is Quest Unite Africa. If this was Quest Unite America, guess what?
We'll be 50 rich.
We'd be 50 rich and we wouldn't and it wouldn't even have to cost you that much.
Mm-mm.
Because you don't even have to worry about any transatlantic flights or things of that nature. I'm sure
Mm,
the GOP would love that one. Oh, Quest Unite America.
yeah.
This is to help with Trump's legal fees.
Right. And then we be right here, two black guys up here going against y'all talking about help build up America. Man, please, you know good and well we be hemmed up.
Yeah, exactly. 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 But family, we have subscriptions on out there. We have the gold level, diamond level, and platinum level. I'd encourage you all to go take a look at that. We also have fundraisers, and and before I go on out there, the gold level for subscriptions they start at 250. The platinum level, or excuse me, the diamond level starts at 500, and the um excuse me, diamond level starts at 500, and platinum level starts at 1,000. But you with those, you get complimentary gifts from us, and that's to say thank you, because we understand that any gifts, whether small, great or small, we appreciate it. We appreciate the gifts from our cash apps, and we thank you for that. None of the gifts are in vain because they're actually doing a great work. This organization started a little over 4 months ago, and we have things established on the continent in less than 4 months. And there's still more to be done.
Mm-hmm. Great deal.
We 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 have to be able to sustain this. It's a sustain. Look, you don't go to church and the pastor says, "All right, well, I appreciate it. Thank you for the tithes and offering. I'll be back next week." No, he said, "Look, you need this tithes and offering because the tithes and offering keeps the church lights on. The tithes and offering keeps that the pews dusted. The tithes and offering do what? Keep the collection plates, keeps the communion good, or you're gonna have some stale communion with some sour grape drink,
Hmm.
that clone Tyrone grape drink. It's
Yeah.
it's a sustained effort, and I know our people don't like to be pressed about money. I know I don't even like to ask about money, so I understand. But it's going to something worthwhile. Because if I were to say, hey, let's give to build America, and a place that you see is going to conflict, oh, I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame. And I get it.
Hmm.
We're not the newest group to this. We're not. But we're one of the newest groups to saying, look, as a people, we can begin to make a tremendous impact on the continent. And that starts with us. Mike and I cannot do this alone. Q2UA is for the people. That's for us showing our brothers and sisters who we are, showing them that we love them enough to understand their needs for maternity care
The main projects, yeah.
with the mink kits, the mother newborn kits. We have around 50 kits pledged, but we need more kits pledged, family. We can do this. Those little gestures of just $30 a kit. creates so much more. You want to ask for stuff, but you have to be a blessing to others.
Mm. And and the thing about it is, also what we have embarked upon. When we say all of Israel, we mean all of Israel. Um, we got brothers and sisters that are working on putting together things for orphanages. We're not trying to leave our little brothers and sisters behind. And we most definitely is not trying to leave them in a way that they're being taught a false history.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing we're adamant about is the teachings of our little brothers and sisters who parents may have been deleted, and they find themselves in this particular predicament. And so we're setting things up to be in association with orphanages here and in Africa. Now, when we say we're embarking upon some things, we are, we are. I mean, because let's not forget about this now. The brothers and sisters that are in prison. The prison is full of us. We dominate the percentage. We dominate that. Black women, black men are number one in prison. Some of them in there falsely, and especially if you want to go back in history, yeah. And then let's just say let's just say they've been falsely in prison, and they stayed in prison for years. What do you think that's going to do to their psyche? It's going to mess them up. They in there for something they did not do. 20 and 30 years locked up in prison. A lifetime then went by. You went into prison, and you come back out, and they got cell phones. You're trying to figure out what in the world is this. And now you're trying to play catch up. Because now this is what this system did to these particular individuals. And when they getting out, they just as I'm gonna use this word, they just as dumbfounded as all get out. Yeah. These brothers and sisters need help just as much as a orphanage, a child that's in a in an orphanage. These are the things we work with. We're trying to put in place according to Yah's will. Yes, it's a very serious path that we are put ourselves upon. It's a lot of stuff that has to be done. There's a lot of donation that needs to come through. Now, you may think we're begging. Ain't nobody begging for money. No, we don't beg. We ask, because when it's all over said and done, it is going to be your own creator who you're going to stand before. You will stand before your creator. I don't care if you 25, 30, 35 years old, and you feel that you got your life, you got your strength, you got money, you got a house, you got cars, you got whatever. One day, you're going to stand before your creator, and you're going to have to give an accounting to your life. The trust. If y'all want you to do something to give, and he let it be known to you, and yet you do not do it, he's going to bring that back. He could bring that back to you. And this is not no fear monger. Call me Teo. That's my brother. It's not no fear monger. It's something that you need to think about. Think about it. Because what you do as an individual and you make that right decision, you can save your whole family. It ain't just about you. When you go out there, you may have a person out there that go rob a bank, and you got kids at home. You're not thinking about them because they're gonna need a father, they're gonna need a mother. But if you out there doing something that can hinder yourself, you're gonna hinder them. If you're out there selling drugs and you know how the gang goes, one day you step out there and you get gunned down and you claim you love your little son that you and your girl just had, you can't do nothing for your son lying dead. Think actions. That's all that boils down to being. If you know for a fact, I got a family I got to take care of, I can't get down this way. That's godly thinking. That's godly thinking. Now, donations are benefiting you individually. No matter how you think about it, you may think you giving, it just happened there, $5. That $5, a portion of that money is helping you and yours. Africa will be the hub of the world's food source.
Mm-hmm.
It is now. It's going to be.
Yeah.
And if this is all you got to do is just sit back and think. And this is one thing cares not, and people know this. They always depicting us on TV and movies as the villains, the selfish ones. But they know in reality, if you there and you hungry and they got a bit of it, a Hershey's or candy bar, they go break a portion of that and they go give it to you. They're going to give it to you. Black people will. I have lived on the west side of Chicago, south side of Chicago, and I've seen black people. I've seen plenty of families living in the hood. Always will have somebody with a disability living in their house, and they was a Gentile. We treated them like family. They would joke about him and everything. He come back and he joke about it, or him or her. But they would take anybody in their family and treat them as family. Let somebody come in off the streets and mess with that particular Gentile. No, you got that family that's going to come up on you. This is what we do. We accept anyone. We do. We accept anyone into the family. We do. We do. And we move on. Yah has also opened up their door for Gentiles to come into our family. But it all boils down to a line of thinking. You know, it boils down to a line of thinking. What is it that you as an individual, what are you really trying to achieve? What is your angle? Whether it's a good one or a bad one, we will be walking up to that great white throne for judgment. And if you did your best, y'all gonna know it. It's one thing we cannot do. Ain't nobody go sit up here and think they go double pimp Yah It's just not going to happen. It don't even make a sense to think you go out there and show the puppy eyes and things of that nature. So you feel sorry. That don't go nowhere. If such is the situation, what was her name? Lot's wife. She turned around longing for the things in Sodom, and she turned into a pile of salt. That's what Yah did to her. Jezebel, got threw out of a window. The dogs ate her whole body up except for her hands and her feet, right? I mean, yeah, it was it was the hand. They left the hands and the feet. Yeah, don't play. He's not one that you think you're going to manipulate. He knows judgment. He knows when things is right, when things are wrong. We got to go back and build up our home. We got to go back and build up our people. Man, and the sad thing about this, Caris, is this. I was talking to some brothers in Dar es Salaam a couple of days ago. They do not know, for the majority of them, they do not know what's going on in the United States. They're living in the villages. They don't have the TVs. And they don't look at news like we look at news. We seeing what's going on. Their information gathering is very limited. It's very limited. It is very limited. So now when I sit and say some things to them, and they don't know, they don't have the foggiest idea.
They don't. They don't. They don't even realize that they have actually been enslaved via colonization. They really don't. Um, they don't really know in terms of their tribal structures where that comes from. They just know that they're part of a tribe. Ask them to research that tribe, they don't know. Ask them to understand, um, what they and where they come from generations down. They don't know.
They
Um,
know
uh,
they're Bantu.
yeah, they'll know that they're Bantu, but they don't really truly understand what that means.
Right.
Something that was funny, that was actually interesting, was that um, Dar es Salaam is I think it roughly translates to, like, place of peace.
Yeah, place of peace or something like that. Yeah.
And what people don't realize is that on Zanzibar and those little islands that are over there off of Dar es Salaam, they were hubs for the trans-Saharan, the Eastern trans-Indian slave trade. But what ended up happening was that our people swam on over. They would escape, they would swim, they would boat, they would do whatever they could, float on over back to the mainland. And they utilized Dar as their stronghold.
Mm-hmm.
Dar was a city literally created by runaways during the trans Saharan slave trade.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see them and you interact with them and you look at them, they look just like us. They look just like our cousins, our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, our uncles, our grandparents, our sons and daughters. They look just like us. And they see us and we look just like them. They won't know who you are until they start talking to you in Kiswahili, and then you have to say, sorry, I speak English. And then when they see you speaking, they get the biggest smile on their faces. They have
Mm-hmm.
the biggest smile on their faces. because they said, man, you took the time to get on that airplane to come over a day to here. And I could see you. See, they look at us on the continent here thinking that we're like celebrities. They're all looking at us. But we don't really understand that they're looking at us. Because you want to know why? Because they try to ensure that our internet communications are always messed up or are failing.
Mhm. Mm.
I'm gonna have to wrap this on up here in 30. I gotta call some folks. You know what I'm talking about, Mike. Gotta call
Mhm.
some.
Yeah.
But family, understand we make a bigger impact than what the world wants you to realize. It's a big impact. Just us being on the continent, showing up there, letting our brothers and sisters know, look, we hear you, we see you. Do you all see us? They say, yes, we see you, we hear you. But remember, everything that they have is dictated by someone else.
Yeah.
Just like here, their news is not controlled by them. Just like here, their image is not controlled by them. Just like here.
Hmm. Only image I say that they do show is a weak nation.
Yeah.
And when I say weak nation now, listen to what I'm saying. That person, he walk about, boy, look like he about to fall over. The wind blow too hard, he gone. If he like Dorothy, he click his heel, the wind will blow him away. I never seen such a fragile president in my life. And at the same time, it's as if he's mimicking what the nation is looking like right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have they sent the vice president over to Africa um, to push the alphabet soup, and yeah, she was the face. She was, she was the black face. That hey, let's go there and do it that way. Um, and that's what they do. Yeah, they got a black president in Tanzania, but trust and believe, she take orders from somebody that is not black. It's a group
Mm-hmm.
of them, matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
It's a group of them. And so, I mean, the days have changed, and Yah has shooken up a lot of this, a lot of it. And the world is looking at it. They're thinking about it. Which side should we be on? And it seems like the EU still has strength. Babylon is not going to repent. it's not. It's not going to repent. She's not. They're going to hold on to this. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
die with it. They're going to die with it. And for the ones that survive, Yah said, give them double of the plagues. Give them double. If you look at our history and go back, look at our history, see what we went through. See our brothers and sisters hanging from trees. Look at the history of how they treated uh, that little 14-year-old boy back in the what year was? I mean, I forgot what year it was. Well, they killed him claiming he murdered two little white girls, 14-year-old boy. Was that back in the 40s?
Yeah, I think it was like 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
I look at it. I look at it even more recently. They gave that brother in Kansas 10 years for kissing a white girl.
Wait a minute. Wait, wait a minute. When did this happen?
This happened about 2 years ago. They gave this brother 10 years for kissing a white girl in Kansas.
Kissing a white. Wait a minute. Please tell me he's not locked up.
No, he is locked up. That's a shame. He is locked up.
Did the white girl kiss him back?
Yeah. And the sad thing is, it was a kiss. It was consensual, and yeah, this is sad.
What part of where was this at? Mississippi? What?
No, this is in Kansas. Kansas.
Do you know that it is a blessing for a black man or a black woman to kiss anybody outside their race? That is a blessing. They need to be saying, "Thank you, I've been blessed." They go sit there and lock somebody up. Oh my goodness, boy! I tell you, the cotton picking truth. You man, I never heard that before, Karis.
Oh yeah, it's sad.
And they be the same people who be searching out for black women, searching out for them. Would talk about them like dogs, but want them in their beds. And that's just the realism of it. And history proves that. They talk about our sisters like they dogs, and at the same time treat them like they dogs. And our brothers, they hopped on this little dumb track or whatever, but seems like a lot of these brothers are starting to wake up and they starting to see our sisters as they seeing them a little bit different now. But this dumb stuff as us being these sisters calling themselves bees and things, and because of the music, because the music say, hey, so and so. If you continue to live your life in a negative way, you're gonna get negative results. It's going to fool you because you got a dollar sign that is behind it that you may think is, hey, it's getting me out there. I'm getting this money. You're getting money, but you're getting killed at the same time. You'll call yourself out of your name, and you looking for a blessing. It's the world don't go that way. The world does not go that way. And so I mean, the young generation, and what some brothers are trying to do, I do take my hat off to them. They seeing things for what it is, and they trying to make changes. And you cannot knock a brother or a sister for doing those things. And don't get me wrong, it's going to take some time with different brothers and sisters because we're living in a Babylonish system where it literally has damaged a lot of our brothers and sisters. It did. And that's young and old. Young and old. And it boils down to being patient with our brothers and sisters, and at the same time, continue to be encouraging to them. You know. But when it's all over said and done, this is Q2UA. We're here to lift up our brothers and sisters and to, realign our line of thinking, to draw us back to Yah. Yes, we've been lied to for hundreds of years. We've been lied to. It's time for us to wake up. Let us not be destroyed because of lack of knowledge. Let us wake up to the mechanism of this system. It's built to keep us entertained, and blinded.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things this world is built. It's built up to do. And it's not the world that the world is worried about. It's Israel. We got to keep these black people occupied. Keep them poor. Keep
Mm-hmm.
them frustrated. Keep them in bad neighborhoods. Keep up the crime. The crime does pay. It pays to keep you in your own and keep you in a particular neighborhood. It pays because when when white people see that policemen are doing their jobs, keeping you in your place, in your neighborhood, and not in their neighborhood, they willing to pay those taxes. They willing to pay it in order for them to maintain their peace. Yes, I support it. Keep them in their place. And that's what they're doing. That's what they have done. They practice this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They orchestrated this. But it's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to wake up. We don't need to go into their neighborhoods. We just need to wake up. Because the moment we wake up, that's when our neighborhood starts to change. When when Yahusha said, "Woe to those that does not keep my father's laws." Who was he talking to? He wasn't talking to the world. That woe is all upon Israel. That woe is all upon Israel. And if you think I'm joking, go into a black neighborhood and tell me whether it's a good neighborhood or it's a bad neighborhood and see which one go dominate if you start to add all of the black neighborhoods up just here in the United States. What's going to be the percentage of all black neighborhoods, whether it's going to be good or bad? Which one of these, the left or the right, is going to have a high percentage of being bad? And all of you are, I know for a fact, you're going to say the percentage is going to be bad on black neighborhood. That woe is upon us. This is the reason why he said woe to those. Although, don't get me wrong, we was taught that the laws was done away with. We was taught that, yes. And we lived that. We got into the unclean foods. When Yah said you must not murder, we top dog in murder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, everything he told us not to do, we practice. And about every song, it could be a romantic song or whatever. What was that song? What's that cat name? But anyway, his song was about, and the majority of them is about, and even if you listen to some of the raps, they always talking about sleeping with somebody else's woman. And about all of them, we emphasize, glorify sin. Sin. And this is what we do. Those woes are upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Yahusha, there's no shame in what they're saying, because those laws, woe to the person that does not keep my father's law. You man and woman, you're not keeping his law, woe on you. If you have a child, that woe is going to come up on that child. That child is going to feel the effects of those parents not following Yah's laws. It's going to happen. We see it happening. You may have one or two black neighborhoods out there that is a good or decent neighborhood. That's not going to stop those woes. It's not going to stop those woes. It's not. Until we wake up and starting to see, hey, these woes are upon us. Let's go to white neighborhoods. The majority of white neighborhoods are going to be nice, clean, less crime in their neighborhoods. And that's
Mm-hmm.
a fact. They not up under those laws. Those
Mm-hmm.
laws are Israel is up under those laws. We got to, we are the ones. Y'all is cleansing. And we got to wake up. We on the west side of Chicago, man, and you go one block, Karis, one block, Karis,
Mm-hmm.
we'll run into 6 or 7, maybe 10 churches in one block. How in the world you got all these churches and you still in sin? And then you gonna have the liquor stores right on nearby on every corner.
Mm.
These are the woes that the Messiah was talking about. All you gotta do is look at the people. Oh, wait a minute. These are the people. We are those people who's being affected by this woe, these woes. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But now we're here, Question Night Africa. We're here to lift up and to point out in order, not to point out just to point at you, to put you down. We're here to lift you up and to warn you at the same time. It's from a scriptural standpoint. Now, whether you believe, pray to Yah. There is not another book on this planet. There's only one book on this planet Earth that has been sanctioned, sanctified by Yah. Only one book. You got other books that may come out and say, hey, and it may quote a scripture or two, but the only book that has been sanctioned and sanctified is the Bible, our book. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, some people went in there and did what Yah told them not to do. He told us not to go in there and change the book nor add to the book. The world said, and Satan and his henchmen, we're going to do what we want to do. And that book was made to use, that book was turned into a slave-based instructional book.
Mm-hmm.
Slaves in their place. But when Yah started waking his people up, they started reading the scriptures. They asked for understanding, and Yah started teaching. He started teaching, and he started telling, hey, this book has been manipulated to keep you in slavery. What did the brothers do? They wake up and they started to recognize that. They started to recognize that. This is the Question United Africa. Yes, we're here to keep things moving, upbuild our people, get the foundation things in Africa built up, not just in Africa, also here in the United States, as long as we can be here. Yeah, we may do a little building here or there, have a little spot here or there. It's only for storage purposes, little small offices or whatever, just to keep our people built up, because the moment it's time to go, we gone. We gone. We're not trying to look back like Lot's wife, look back at the United States and turn to a pillar of salt. No, we're not trying to miss anything back here. There's nothing to miss here except for a great deal of sorrow. That's all. Sorrow and sin. That's the only thing you're going to see here. And so let us, look at things and press on and continue to donate for the cause. Because it is the world. Who was that? What's they call that cat? I keep on forgetting it. Prepper. Um,
Canadian prepper.
Canadian Prepper. Oh,
Yeah.
yesterday he was up there cursing up a storm. He said, this is a whole different. He was like throwing the F bomb out there like crazy.
Yeah, he was a little worked up yesterday.
Yeah, he. Why do you think he was worked up, Karis?
Oh yeah.
Hmm. He's seeing things, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's seeing it. He's seeing things, and if you can, if we can, just look at the masses of people. If they were able to voice their opinion or their concern, they're gonna be just like him.
Mm-hmm.
This is not right. We on the brink of major collapse. Brothers, sisters, Gentiles, whether you hate us, you don't hate us, all we're trying to do is help you out also. Don't, like I said, don't sit up and think we begging. We doing what y'all asked us to do. And we go press forward with this. We are looking at a situation that's going to turn out for the benefit for Israel. It is. It's going to turn out for the benefit of Israel. Scripturally speaking, Yah said, Israel will be saved first, then the nations. We're not knocking out nobody, but Israel must be saved first. And if Israel going to be saved first, don't you think you need to be in line or have some type of thought or have a brother or sister who is of that bloodline to think back of the people? Hey, I helped these people. For them to look back, yeah, you know what he did. He good people. But if you want to sit back, I'm not giving a dime. That's cool. No love lost. No love lost at all.
Mm-mm.
But you will stand before that great throne of Elohim Almighty. You will. Now, it's easy to think that we got our lives. You may think you're in good health and things of that nature. Your life is a joke when it comes to the Almighty because your life depends upon Him. The air you breathe, it depends upon Him. If you don't believe in God, trust and believe. The Elohim believes in you. Because I guarantee you, when you start seeing that breath of air come out of you and not coming back, you go recognize who the Elohim is. Now, it's easy to talk about what you ain't gonna do and all that stuff. Yeah, and for the majority of people that knows, what you're saying goes in through one ear and out the other extremely quick because we know for a fact your life is not nothing compared to the Almighty. Your strength, it don't have no type of weight. But let us continue to donate, support Quest Unite Africa because it covers a great deal of infrastructure in Africa and here helping brothers and sisters. There, when I say it is for Israel first, then the nations, you're going to receive that help. Y'all know exactly how to save all of His people and His Gentiles. I said, and his Gentiles. He know who his faithful Gentiles are. He know how to pull them out. He's not unfaithful as to forget people who really fought for his people. He knows them. He knows their action. He knows their heart. And he knows how to save each and every last one of them. And with that, Brother Karras, I hand it back to you.
All right, thank you, brother Mike. I appreciate that. Yeah, so family. Oh, I gotta make one last push. I'm gonna tell you this, family. This is an awesome week with your support. And I know, family, that we're doing this for the Most High's kingdom. And yeah, sorry, Minister Rick, I'm actually shutting this down. We're doing this for the Most High's kingdom. And I thank you all for your support in this because everything does count and everything does make major moves. This week, we started off in a not so great position. But what we did is we asked the Most High to give us favor. We asked the Most High to give us increase. And it was awesome to see his people respond because we may sit here, and ask and try to rally and do whatever we need to do. We could do that till we're blue in the face, but it's the Most High that allows for things to prosper. It's the Most High that allows for things to work. And this week, seeing the Most High work through his people, that was awesome. But as Brother Mike has said, the family, the job isn't done yet. We're about to get our Q2A store up and running. Shout out to Brother Fast Nickel. I believe this is our last day for the popcorn fundraiser, so please check that on out. This is all on our quest2nightafrica.org website. quest2nightafrica.org. So with that said, family, I actually have to run because I got to get some calls made. But again, thank you for this week. This week, I'm telling you, I stepped out my comfort zone, but it's the Most High that gets the glory. It's the Most High that gets the praise. Continue to pray for his family that our 501c3 gets adjudicated in a expedient format, in an expedient manner. And that's how the Most High does. He hears his people. His face is turning back on his people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with that said, family, on behalf of Quest Night Africa, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. We want to try and get up to 1,000 subscribers on Quest Night Africa. Because I really want to build out that channel with more Quest Night Africa business, and then we kind of go from there. So with that said, family, Most High willing, I'll be back on next Monday. Most High willing. So with all of us from the Quest to Unite Africa family here and around the world, Shalom, Salama, Siemi, Shalom. Peace and blessings. Yasharel.
Shalom.